to the After Party Hangover. I'm your host, Mangria Fuel, and this is a show that talks about a show that talks about a show. Today's guest, as if you couldn't tell already, today's guest, the youngest Hall of Famer of the Steel World After Party, has returned to bless us with his Jew spirit, old soul, and quick wit. We of the SRAP Army are very lucky to have this young man a part of our community. He is still well on his way to taking over the world of entertainment. He is a part of the Tripod Beer Runs. He hosts his own podcast, and this is episode 55 plus 44, and you get the Great Brettzky 99. How's it going, my man?
And minus 30, you get 69.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, it all ties in. You are the king of intros, my friend. That is a phenomenal intro from Mr. Mangina himself.
Who should I get for episode 69? Zanca come back on, or?
Yeah, you gotta get Zanca and Cesar on a double episode for 69 for sure.
Well, I know it has only been a tiny bit of time since we last talked, but since the tiny time we talked last, have you caught All Out?
Nope. I've been dreading catching All Out from what I've heard from everyone except for AEW marks. I've heard that it's been terrible. Gotta do it for the pretzels.
Put it off as long as you can. Put everything else in front of that.
Oh boy.
Including going to the dentist if you can anymore. But
to quote JR, I think we'll all be imagining this every time we go to the dentist from now on.
I just noticed this is one of my rare daytime hangovers. So,
oh yeah.
It's always nice.
Well, don't you always get a hangover in the daytime though? Like the morning?
Yeah, I do typically, but not everybody else. But
okay.
Just an interesting stat: the Great Brettzky 99 first appeared on The Hangover, episode 3, August 22nd, 2019. It is still the most popular episode of The Hangover. So, bravo, Brettzky, bravo! You got the fans, you got the peeps. And speaking of fans and the peeps, you are up to episode 18 of the full pod. Let us discuss some podcasting between two podcasters. Now that you're 18 deep, how has the experience been for you? Has it been tough? Has it been annoying? Do you like it?
It's been kind of a combination of everything. It really started because I saw a bunch of my friends, not a bunch, but a couple of my friends, like two of my friends, were like writing books and like other shit like that. And I'm like, wow, I have nothing to put on my resume for this summer. I feel like a piece of shit. So that's kind of where the idea for the podcast started. But it kind of blossomed into something like, especially over summer. I mean, now that I'm in person, the audio is better, but like I get to talk to people in person. But it kind of started. It really became a nice way to kind of stay in touch with people. On my end, like whether it be friends I had from college or friends I hadn't spoken with in like a year since high school. So yeah, I mean, it's been tough trying to like editing audio is a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
And making if for example, like if someone says something like and then says immediately after, oh, cut that, then it's like, oh, okay, well I have to go back and I have to cut it. I have to make. I am in a less than you and less than Jake and Zanca. I am in a position where I absolutely cannot get canceled. So that part's tough, making sure that everything is like kind of gets like if an employer screens it, like to making sure that they're not going to be like, yeah, no, fuck you, you're not getting the job because of this.
Because on The Hangover, that one episode, you said the N-word. No.
Whoa, hey. Hey, no, that was Cesar. Everyone gets me and Cesar confused a bunch, you know.
That's true. You guys are way too similar. Similar.
Crazy.
I had the SRAP Hall of Famers on, and I think it was till, I don't know, episode 20 maybe, to where, or maybe even sooner, where I had repeat guests. So I have a limited group because when I do this podcast, The Hangover, it's usually to talk about SRAP or wrestling. So I envy you because you have you have an expanded roster. You got your friends and you got the Hall of Famers that you can have. How long do you predict until you have a repeat guest, like episode 35 or episode 40?
It's funny you mentioned that because I've been trying to get more organized with it and like get a schedule going, like in my like a tentative schedule going in my notes.
Yeah,
Um, I have enough people, especially with SRAP people. You know,
yeah,
that's already a decent amount of people, so where it won't be repeats. But I'm trying to configure it. I feel like I can go a while without an actual repeat, but I know a lot of people, like different friend groups I have, where it's like I would do a separate kind of format, like have two people on at the same time, you know, just shooting shit like in a different kind of format. So I don't know how long it'll be till I go for a repeat. I might want to do repeats, like kind of like you, like how you'd be like, oh, so how's it been since last hangover? Like, oh, how's it been since
yeah.
last time you're on the podcast? But yeah, I think I can go. I have a little bit left in the tank, I guess, before
Yeah.
I have to kind of go back in the well and dig out some old people.
Are you still comfortable with Anchor, or do you think you want to expand, or are you set with Anchor?
I'm not paying for anything.
You're not a sucker like me.
No, I'm not going to spend $50 on to watch Matt Hardy get a concussion. No, but
60 actually. Sadly, it was 60.
60?
It was 60.
Oh no, Mangria, you got bamboozled.
Yeah, that
But
was.
yeah,
I wish I had a stronger hangover so I could have forgotten all of that. But that's not possible. No, I'm asking because it's funny how on different formats, like for Zoom, when we do the tripod sessions, like when I start talking and then Cesar jumps in, it mutes. Whoever's louder mutes everybody else. I thought
that's
that was kind of
right.
funny. Whereas in Anchor, everyone can just jump all over everyone when they're talking. And then GoToMeeting was simpler, but you couldn't record video. So that's the only downfall to that. But, I'm
Right.
still learning. Maybe next year I'll have another fucking format I'm doing this on. But I think Zoom, so far, I'm the most happy with. Whereas Anchor, I don't know. Anchor, they're not listening, right? No. No, they keep wanting me to do that spot to advertise. Like I get notifications every day. Hey, you could a sponsor wants to sponsor the podcast or something, and I have to record the minute-long Anchor commercial like you and Jake did. I don't know. I'll just be like, Anchor's great. 44, 43, 42. I'll think of something eventually, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see if you do multiple guests on your full pod. It's pretty funny, and there's less likely of dead air. That's what I can say about the tripod and about multiple guests is there's never dead air, and that's always a good thing.
Yeah, dead air. I know now. I kind of understand where Jake was coming from now with the please talk line, because yeah, it's tough. Like especially like from our positions as hosts of our own podcast. Like like when I'm on the tripod, I'll always try to talk because like I know how bad it is. Like if you're hosting and someone says something and it kind of stops.
Unless I'm
And
drinking.
well, yeah, unless you're drinking, of
Then
course.
everything's dead silent.
But yeah, someone's talking. That's also the tough thing too about doing it over the phone and not having the recording because,
Yeah.
like, I could be talking to you, and you could stop, but it could just be like a pause to like take a sip of water, or like you could like just be pausing to collect your thoughts, and then I'll be in my head, be like, well, is he talking? Is he stopped? Is he done? And I'll be like, oh, I have no idea where to go with this. It's tough. It's a balance.
And as a listener, when you hear dead silence, you're like, you check your phone. Oh, did my phone stop? Did someone call me? Like you
Right.
think something's wrong with your fucking broadcast because there's a pause. But well, I gotta say, you get a sense for me personally. I get a sense of accomplishment. Like I know I put too much on my plate with the APPW and the tripod and the hangover, but there's like some weird sense of accomplishment at the end of the week when I look on my fucking YouTube or whatever and it shows all three have been posted. I'm like, whew. And I get one day of rest and then I gotta think again. Okay, and we gotta talk about this on the next hangover, this on APPW. But it's like a weird sense of accomplishment. Do you relate?
Yeah. Especially with my first episode of the podcast because I was lucky because the first guest I had, my buddy Kellen, he has his own podcast, which is kind of like where I got the idea from, and he used Anchor as well.
Yeah.
So he was kind of helping me through it in terms of like, oh, here's what you do to post and all that stuff. So it takes a while on Anchor for the first episode to get posted because it has to go through everything else. It has to go through all the channels. You have to make sure that I'm not saying like "Death to America" or something like that.
You gotta
So
make sure that one of Jake's fans aren't recording a podcast.
yeah, I got like the 1% of the tripod's German listeners isn't coming on.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, but it's like once that got posted, it took like a little bit of time, but once that got posted, I was like, all right, like we got that first one out of the way, and it's nice. It's nice to see like the views going up and up and up.
Yeah.
Like even like episode to episode, but just like you click on it on 12 o'clock and it's like 5, and then you click on it at like 3 and it goes up to like 12, and it's like, oh wow, that's pretty cool. Like, you know, watching that ticker go up.
It's funny when you look at the analytics and you can see like people just listen to the first 8 minutes and then stop.
Oh my god.
You kind of feel a little insulted. You're like, well, I guess I'm not interesting.
That's why I started. That's why I got and I got Loomis to do it as well. That's why I started with the make sure you watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I was so happy that I got Dexter Loomis to say that, because it's so scary coming from Dexter Loomis of him threatening you with his trunk. But yeah, like the first couple episodes, like I would look on and be like, they'd be like 30 listens, like, oh sweet, 30 listens, like viewer listener retention 2 seconds. Like, oh, all right.
Oh man,
you were actually one of the few who had the full listener retention.
Yes. Yeah. Cool. That's good. But speaking of Dexter Loomis and the whole Vince McMahon telling people to quit third party third party
platforms.
Yeah, platforms. I went on Cameo last night. Half of the WWE superstars are gone.
So you're telling me I can't pay Alexa Bliss $400 to tell her she's not going to date me?
No more.
Oh, son of a bitch. Damn it.
You know, Big E's still on there though. But I was looking for the Iconics, both of them gone. I was looking for you know, the Golden Boy, Roman Reigns, gone. The Hall of Famers though, like Kurt Angle and Booker T and all them, they're all still on there. But it's a damn shame that those options have been removed now for us, because I should have jumped on a lot of them before they were gone. But I guess the rumor is WWE wants to partner with those kind of services so they can get some as well. That's what I heard. Or they're going to come up with their own. I'm not sure, but they're not going to have as much freedom as they did on Cameo. Like on Cameo, they curse. They curse sometimes.
Right.
There's no chance in hell on WWE if they partner, they'll let them curse. But
it's like Zanca said, where it's like Zanca said in the chat, where it's like you can't just have someone going out and talking about their asshole or something like that, or you can't have as funny as it was, you can't have Mandy Rose saying publicly we love to crumb, you know, shit like that. So I mean, it sucks, but like it's like if you look at it from like a business perspective, you know, it makes perfect sense. Like for reputation alone, you know, Lana going out, you know, flashing her tits everywhere, you know, it's not exactly good for your PG company that's trying to get PG sponsors.
Do you think WWE was more upset that she posed with the energy drink, or do you think they're more upset that the energy drink is named Bang?
Probably both, because like if you look at Bang, the whole point, like every like the dude, like the CEO is like on boats with like thousands of women all topless, like it's like a rated R energy drink.
Respect.
I mean, mad respect to that dude. But like then you see Lana posting about it. You have like, you know, the whole thing with the women's revolution. You have like little girls following, or even little kids following. It's like, oh, what's that? What's Bang? Then you go to the website. Then parents get involved. You get letters. It's a whole thing. And even though Lana's like, Lana in classic Lana fashion tweeted that she's not a scapegoat, but not a scapegoat.
Yeah.
So I don't know what an scapegoat is, but Lana said that she's not that. So.
Well, when they release the Karens, that's when you know you're in trouble with the fucking Karens.
You're not. You know, Vince is not going to deal with Karens. You know, that he'll give them a genetic jackhammer, and they're going to shut up.
They even managed to PG version of DX, which I did not think was possible, but they did it, and it sucked ass.
Yeah.
Well,
that was not good.
My friend, we are doing the hypothetical question of the Hangover. I'm trying to add new segments to the Hangover because the original list of questions are gone, and we already talked about tripod currency, so I'm not going to ask you about the Mount Rushmore, and I'm not going to ask you how COVID has affected your life because we hear it every week on the full pod. So we're skipping those questions. We'll go with What was the last movie you watched?
The last movie that I watched in full was the South Park movie. Great
Oh,
movie.
bigger, longer, and uncut.
Yep. Bigger, longer, and uncut. Great movie. I found it on YouTube, like cut up into like little bits, like 4-minute segments, which is really nice. So it was like a minimal ads. Just watched it on YouTube. That's the last movie I watched in full. I've watched a couple of like bits and pieces of horror movies with some friends, but like nothing that I can really remember. So I'll say South Park.
Okay, that's good. That's always a good classic. I compared. Well, I asked Jake, what do you prefer, the Simpsons movie or the South Park movie? And I'm guessing you'll easily choose South Park.
Not easily. I loved the Simpsons movie. The Simpsons movie is a great movie, but I'll go South Park over it, just because South Park's just always funnier.
Yeah, I'm shocked they haven't done a second movie, but maybe that's a good thing. I'm
Well,
not sure.
apparently they want the movie to be the end. So they originally were planning on they didn't think they were going to get any more episodes of South Park after the bigger, longer, and uncut, but it came back. So I think they might be saving it as like the season, like the series finale is like the second movie.
Fuck, 20 years later, after the
Yeah.
movie.
Oh
We
my
didn't think
god.
we were going to be around that long. It's still one of the funniest shows on TV, and they play it on repeats constantly on Comedy Central. I always catch it. Okay, now it's time for the hypothetical question. I just threw this together at the last minute. So, Bretsky, would you rather butt chug a bottle of Tapatio or fuck a beehive?
Butt chug. I'm not fucking with that beehive. I'm not doing that.
Well,
I
it
mean,
was either spend your night with a super swollen dick or spend your night in the hospital with dysentery.
listen, hey, they can treat dysentery. You
Yeah.
know, it'll be a funny story. It'll be a college story. They'll excuse it because I'm in college. You know, you go fucking a beehive. You know, like, oh, you're the kid who fucked the beehive.
Bragging rights forever.
Oh yeah.
I showed those Honey Nut Cheerios. No.
Oh.
Alrighty, let's talk about SRAP episode 126, Mario's Manicotti Rule. We kick it off with gopher jerky because apparently Zanca has a rabid gopher in his front yard. Then they dive into prehistoric era talk, being a caveman in the dinosaur era. Any thoughts on would you rather be in the prehistoric era? Would you like that, or was that something you wouldn't want to experience if you had a time machine?
I mean, I would go back and look at it. I wouldn't stay for long. You know,
Remember,
you all of a sudden you're walking around, you run into Luchasaurus or something like that, and you're like, oh, get away from me. But no, I mean, I wouldn't. I would get eaten. I would get eaten right away. They would either by a dinosaur or by one of them. They're like, oh, who you? And then they fucking club me to death. You know.
remember what Grandpa Simpson said: if you go back in time, don't touch anything. You might change history somehow.
There'll be 1,000 Jakes in the future if I go back and touch something.
And by the way, caveman hit their women on the head with a club and then dragged them to the cave and violated them. That's how it worked back then. Where's proof of this, by the way?
Yeah, the cave historians they make cave drawings of them clubbing
I
women.
guess. Oh, we get. I know Jake is famous for having unpopular opinions.
Of course.
He doesn't care about Mauro Ranallo leaving NXT. That's spoken as somebody who has never regularly watched NXT because Mauro, he made every show exciting. Like we talked about on the tripod. Like had he been there for that Iron Man match,
Oh.
man, it would have kicked it up even more than it was already. What are your thoughts on Mauro departing, and what do you think his next move will be?
I think his next move is going to be nothing. I think the rumor is that he did it for his mental health, so which he's expressed problems with in the past.
Yeah.
So I mean, I hope he gets better. But I mean, he did UFC stuff as well for commentary. So maybe like he'll go to the Fight Club or like whatever they have, the Fight Island, the UFC Fight Island. Maybe he'll come back to WWE one day. I'm sure he will because I'm sure I can imagine him just sitting at home on his couch watching the Iron Man match, just started commentating like, "Oh, stop it, Mauro, stop it! You can't do that. It's not you anymore." But no, he'll be back. He'll be back eventually. But I think he needs to focus on himself.
If he was smart, he would start a Patreon so
Yes.
you could play his commentary as the matches are going on. He'll make money like that. and he won't
Imagine
get
him
in
on
trouble for
Cameo.
the third party. Yeah. Oh man, I would definitely book Morrow if he had a cameo. But I mean, someone like Zanca said, he wasn't trying to be mean when he said this, but someone that fragile shouldn't really be on social media, maybe,
Yeah.
or just put it on super private, or just learn to block everybody. I don't know. I hope his health is doing okay, and I hope he's better, and I hope he does eventually come back. But Brettzky, he does commentary on WWE Battlegrounds, so we still will get some Morrow in our life.
Is that the first game that he's doing? Yeah, so he'll only have commentary on WWE fucking Battlegrounds.
Yep.
What a legacy.
I know him and Jerry the King Lawler are the commentating team for that video game, so it should be interesting to hear a lot of "Mamma Mia! John Cena's being eaten by an alligator."
God damn it. This game. Oh, what a game that's going to be.
And of course, the LOL line of the episode was when Jake and Zanca were both fascinated that they loved a Nia Jax Shayna Baszler match, and Zanca he did this whole soliloquy about putting a piece of shit in your mouth. Why does this shit taste like candy? You know, only Zanca can paint a picture with his words like Zanca does, putting a piece of shit in your mouth and comparing it to a women's tag team championship matchup.
Yeah, I just thought it was funny because Zanka and I had pretty much the same reaction in the chat when that tag match happened. We're like, holy shit, we both love Nia now. What the fuck? And he's right. I mean, you know, you're expecting the shit to taste like shit. All of a sudden, you're like, oh wow, huh? I can bear this. I like it.
This shit was easier to swallow.
Yeah.
I had a question for you, Brettzky, though. You remember after the match when they were being interviewed and Shayna was actually trying to give an interview when Nia was in the background going, woo, woo! Like,
that was what turned me. That was what turned me on Nia.
But was that planned? Do you think that was a shoot, or do you think that was what they were supposed to do? Because it looked like Shayna was trying to actually give her opinion.
They probably told them just go out and be opposites. And they're probably just like, yeah, Nia, just, I don't know, just celebrate. And Nia's like, I love you, Mom. I'm like, oh, yes, I'm with this. I can support this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Shayna was trying not to laugh, honestly.
Yeah.
They've been breaking Shayna recently. They had R-Truth almost break her on like Raw Talk when he's talking about like putting tartar sauce on fish or something like that. And then yeah, this Shayna's gonna break sooner or later.
Yeah, remember they I don't know if you saw on Twitter, but somebody screenshotted Shayna smiling and they put it on Twitter and they're like, oh, we finally broke Shayna Baszler. She smiled, and then she commented on that picture, take this down. Living the gimmick, Shayna.
If we get to see a more fun side of Shayna Baszler, I can imagine this. It could probably do a lot of wonders for her. She can show character work, kind of like Daniel Bryan showed. He can be more of a character in Team Hell No. This could do wonders for her.
Yeah, they brought out the goofier side of Kane too on Team Hell No. I'm the tag team champions. No, I'm the tag team champions.
I'm going to Disneyland.
I'm gonna be mayor. No, I'm gonna be mayor. No. After this, the Facebook questions, I got to pat myself on the back. It was actually them. It's all them, of course, but the Hillary phone calls, threatening phone calls are happening. And at the end of my Facebook question, the hashtag was, has the phone rang yet? And Jake goes, oh, no, I'm really freaked out. Yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. But that's more of me tooting my own horn.
Oh, yeah.
But this is a historic episode. I need to bookmark this episode of the SRAP because we get a debuting new character from Zanca and Jake, Keith Slow Lee. Now, Brettzky, we have the privilege of doing a podcast with someone who nails the Keith Lee impression. Compare the two. Which is funnier? And answer is Keith Lee.
Oh God, I can't do a Keith Lee impression for the life of me. But I think Cesar's is funnier just because of how good it is. Because like when I watch Keith Lee now, I just hear Cesar. Yep. So also it's new. The SRAP one's new and it's still very funny. I don't know if it'll have the lasting impact that Cesar's does, but I'm gonna have to go with Cesar for now. We'll reevaluate it down the line, but Cesar for now.
The funniest part of their impression, of course, is they're going so slow. But could you imagine if they read all the questions in that Keith Lee impression? How much longer? And I
It'd be
know,
another hour.
Jake likes to pad the episode to make it longer, but I mean, come on, guys, you can come up with something more to say.
Oh man.
And during their breakdown of Raw, something weird happened to their audio, and Jake made it seem like a demon just entered the room. He goes, "I'm scared. I don't know what happened." And then you hear Zanca letting out a deep sigh. What did you think was happening during that? Because I was confused until they explained it.
I had no idea. I was kind of listening. I kind of was like in bed listening. I'm like, oh, what the fuck? Like, all right. I kind of thought it was on my end at first. I thought it was like, oh, my headphones are probably dying or something like that. But I don't know. Something. It was Hillary again. There you go. It was Hillary.
Well, I guess we can actually relate because oh yeah, that's more podcasting talk. I just reminded myself of the questions I was supposed to ask you. Like I told you before, when me and Cesar did that Christmas Eve special and it wasn't recording, we did it for like an hour and 5 minutes and it didn't record. And I was like, oh my God, Cesar, I'm so sorry. And luckily he had enough patience to redo it. But what has been the biggest technical difficulty during the faux pod? Has anything that massive happened to you as well?
Yes, it has. The fourth episode. The fourth episode was the first time I had the audio issues of where like you would cut each other off, and I tried because it was the only episode that I did where I didn't take a break at the 30-minute mark, because like we did it on the tripod. I'm like, all right, I can do it for longer. I did it with my friend Chitanya, and I listened back to it, and it was just all trash. Like, he couldn't understand anything, and I'm like, I'm very sorry, but I think we have to re-record this tomorrow morning.
Oh, wow.
That's why I was lucky. I got lucky because I have leeway because I record Tuesday night and then I put it out on Wednesday afternoon. So if I need to, I can re-record stuff. But he was patient enough to redo that another hour with me. But yeah, that was bad. That was the first run-in I had with like really shitty audio problems. But yeah, that's something very similar.
It just makes you feel terrible too, because you think of the person they actually spared some time for you and talked with you and shit, and none of it was recorded, or like you said, you had audio issues, and it's just like, oh god damn it. Luckily, we have understanding people in our life.
Yeah,
but
there's also a thunderstorm during that one. So like we started recording the first one, and there was a power outage, and then we had to stop recording, then re-record it. So it was like 3 recordings. So I felt so bad.
Well, even the SRAP guys, they mentioned a couple times that it didn't record. They forgot to hit record as well. So it's first world problems, but come on, people, it happens. It's podcasting. Shit happens. Another podcasting question I wanted to ask you. Forgive me, I have not listened to every episode of the full pod.
That's it. I'm leaving. This is over.
But have you ever had someone eat on your podcast while they were talking to you?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Actually, no, Jake did.
Oh, he did?
I believe, I remember correctly, Jake was eating.
I listened to that episode. Was he eating or drinking?
It was one or the other. He was consuming something.
Fucking Jake, of course. He wasn't in the tub doing this, was he?
Oh, I hope not. If memory serves me right, Jake was eating during the podcast.
And I've listened to other podcasts like the Adam Carolla Show or Doug Loves Movies or something where people are eating, and the next episode they always say, "Oh, apologies, I know that's the worst thing you can do on the podcast is eat into a mic," which it is. It's pretty disgusting, and you hear the lip smacking and them chomping and stuff. So
it's some ASMR, man. It's some ASMR on the tripod.
I'll pass on the ASMR, but nothing will stop me from taking a swig because that doesn't make noise.
Oh, just it's not like alcohol.
No, this time I need to stay sober until at least 3 p.m. I'll stay sober till 3, but nothing after that. Okay, those were the 2 questions I forgot to ask you during podcasting. Okay, apologies to Savage Alpha Foxtrot. Do you remember this drinking game that he brought up previously? I can't recall.
When he mentioned it, I thought back and like, oh yeah, I kind of remember that. But I don't remember what it was.
Was it a question or was it in our chat?
I don't remember.
I don't either.
I don't remember. It was so long ago. I don't remember it honestly. But yeah, apologies to Savage Alpha Foxtrot.
And I understand Jake challenging us to do the drinking game, but I mean, I said those rules as just a joke. Like, I didn't think anyone was actually going to do that
Because
because,
they die.
yeah, there's so many fucking rules that you will not make it to the hour and 15 mark of an SRAP episode if you actually did those.
Yeah, because Jake's already talking about killing himself like the 2-second point, so it's like right off the bat.
And then you get to like 700% by the time they make it into
Ooh.
wrestling.
Yeah.
100%. Hillary's coming to get them. That's the phone call. These are the notes I took. Jake's gimmick is now fucking grannies. And Caesar's mentioned 100-year-old wolf pussy in his hashtags. How do you think this transition is going for Jake? He went from the kiddos to the grannies. Are you down with that? Or do you give a shit?
Well, I mean, from personal perspective, I wish he did that earlier. However,
You're just now able to sit down right.
yeah. Well, no. I was always able to sit down right. It's not one of those Keith Lee's. It's a little. It's like imagine like sticking a thumbtack up there. No, but
Oh, that's true. That's true. I forgot about the micro man.
Oh, but the micro band, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Jake, I don't understand why Jake doesn't want stuff about him being a pedophile out there. I mean, I don't know why he wouldn't
It's
want
so
that
confusing.
out. Yeah. Like, just choose one. Just choose one. Maybe, you know what? I think his new gimmick has to be, like, fucking those Benjamin Button people, where, like, they reverse age.
God. I do kind of agree with Zanca said. Zanca says it the Zanca way. We squeezed all the kid juice out of that gimmick. So now that we've opened the door to necrophiliac grannies, I think Styx is gonna have a field day with this.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna have a scroll of hashtags they're gonna have to read out on the next SRAP episode.
Yeah, the Book of Styx is definitely a chapter in the Hail Caesar Bible.
Yep, the Book of Fuck Shit has now added a new chapter. No.
Oh yeah.
There is a main event here, and thanks to Zanca, he gave me a list of questions to ask you.
Oh, really?
So these questions are from Sheriff Zanca, and this is our main event of the episode. How old will you be, Brettzky, before you start wearing your pants over your belly button?
What? These
are Zanca questions.
I don't know what that means.
I guess like old men, you know how they have their pants up way too high.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I mean, as long as Jake's around, then I'm probably not going to be doing that. But yeah. I mean, I'll wait until Jake moves on to a third gimmick, and then I'll start.
Do you poop or pee out soup?
Oh, Zanca. No. To my knowledge, I poop out poop and I pee out pee, but I could check. I'll check for you, Zanca.
And make sure you include the color.
Oh.
Do you wipe sitting or standing?
Standing.
Standing.
Yeah, it's a standing wipe for me.
If you had the option, would you rather your balls go over your penis or stay under like they are?
Oh no!
What a weird fucking question.
I'm gonna say I'll keep my balls where they are for now. But hey, I'm always up for a little adventure. I'll see where the world takes me.
Well, if you think about it, if your balls were your dick's hat, your dick would smell so much worse.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The grooming situation alone would be confusing, but anyway.
You get a lot of Fermunda cheese.
What 4 adjectives best describe your penis?
Oh my God, brutal! This is brutal, Mangria.
That's why he's the sheriff.
I'm gonna fucking Jesus Christ, dude. I'm gonna I'm trying to think of something funny.
Yeah.
Because away from Jake is not an adjective. unfortunately. Um, I'll say, you know what, because I am a good Jewish boy, I'm going to say, let's say out of sight. I'm going to say, um, away from old people. Even though these aren't adjectives, these are
I'll allow it.
phrases. They're adjectival phrases.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say, yeah, I'll say away from Jake, and I'll say in the red light district in Thailand.
that's 3.
Said away from Jake, and then in the red light district in Thailand. That's 4.
Oh, okay. Um,
Counting
adjectives.
lessons on after Party Hangover.
Adjectives. I would for my penis: smelly, hairy, average. Dead air. Okay. What wrestler would you like to be for an hour?
For an hour?
Hmm.
I probably would have to go the way that things have been going recently. I have to go with the Fiend because the Fiend is getting on with Alexa,
Yeah.
and the Fiend's got that kind of freaky shit going. So I'll go Fiend and JoJo as well.
I was just gonna say that you could stay at, at the beginning of the hour, you could nail JoJo, then head on to the arena and nail Alexa.
Boom, 2-for-1 special.
Me for an hour, probably Ric Flair, just so I can look through my phone and see what kind of shit he has in there, and then I'll send it to my phone, so I'll have it stuff for the tripod.
And he's gonna come back to who the fuck is this Mangria guy?
I don't remember sending him all these voicemails. No. How many donut holes can you fit in your mouth at one time?
It's a good question. I haven't had donut hole in a while. I'll say 6. I'll say 6.
I'll say 4 because the rest of my mouth will have alcohol in it. You gotta wear one chick's panties as your Rona mask for the day. Who you picking, Nyla or Naya?
Ooh. Ooh, I don't like this question. Andy likes this question. I'm gonna say Naya only because there's less of a chance of dick cheese being in there.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Nyla dick cheese, Naya skid marks.
Yeah, I'll go for the skid marks over the dick cheese.
You know what? I'll take dick cheese just to be different. Okay.
There you go.
Why?
The Mangria school of picking different.
That's right. Why is custard such a gross word to me?
Oh, well, Zanka, it could have to do with the fact that I don't know how. It could have to do with some deep-rooted psychological issues that you have from maybe probably knowing Zanka. He probably was like high as fuck one time. He just like doesn't remember. He was like licking custard off some chick's chili hole and just being then the memory gets kind of pushed back in there. Then whenever he thinks of custard, he thinks of that. That's what I would guess for Zanka, honestly.
Let me channel Zanka. Zanka, crumbing. Okay, custard. It's because it makes you think about cum and mustard, and they're both gross.
Oh,
Custard.
Oh, now I don't like it anymore.
Why do I feel like getting headbutted by a bald guy would hurt worse than a dude with hair?
It would.
Yeah,
Yeah, the hair's the cushion.
exactly. Unless it's Hogan.
You gotta get headbutted by No Way Jose.
Oh, or headbutted by Sideshow Bob.
Oh.
Do you need a ponytail to be good at darts?
Yes, you do, and you also need to have just a goatee. Just the goatee.
That's the proper equation for expert dart thrower.
Yes, and before you throw the dart, you say, "If I nail it, I'm gonna buy you all my favorite craft IPA."
And if I don't nail it, I'm gonna cut my ponytail off.
Exactly.
How many nincompoops they got shuffling around your school?
Socially, a lot. Because it's a smart-ish school. Academically, not many at all. Academically, this is a very, very tough school. Nincompoop-wise, though, people are stupid. A lot of people are stupid.
Social nincompoops sound like a band that plays at Coachella.
They're the opener for
Ladies and
social
gentlemen, the
distortion.
so-so nincompoops.
They're like the social distortion, like fake, like the cover band.
The tribute.
Yeah.
What word should be America's national word? I'm going with fornicate.
I'm gonna go with proambulation.
Explain.
Proambulation. Actually, I'll get you the exact definition off of Google right now. But proambulation is just a funny word.
Uh-huh.
Perambulation. That's what it is. Perambulation. It's just it's just kind of walking around weirdly. It's kind of like doing like a stupid walk, and I feel like a lot of Americans just would do that just kind of naturally.
Yeah.
And also, just, like, it sounds smart, but it means something really stupid, which is America.
It does sound smart. I didn't know what it meant. Okay, America's national word should be queef because it's full of pussies that blow hot air. How many nipple hairs does it take before you're turned off?
Oh, Jesus Christ! You got the hard-hitting questions. You got to step up your game, Angria. These are some hard-hitting questions.
Hey,
I'm
that's why he's the people's host.
Well, it depends on the location, because if there's one coming out of the point, then that's automatically no. But if it's like, if it's a couple of little, some stubble on that around the outside, then it's okay.
I've never seen a chick with a hairy nipple, like
I
hairs
can't
around
imagine.
or in. I've never seen it.
I can't imagine that there's many that have that.
Yeah, unless they're like Syrian or fucking. What's the hairiest group of people?
French?
Cavemen. No. Yeah, French. For me, I would say one. That's disgusting. I couldn't do it. You agree, right? One coming out of the actual.
Oh yeah, no. I think it'd be kind of fun. You kind of like fool around. You kind of like twist it around, like
Or pluck it. Ow.
Yeah. Maybe she's into that.
When you're in an awkward conversation, do you ever just walk away like you don't have any knees? When you're in an awkward conversation, do you ever just walk away like you don't have any? What the fuck? So it's just like you walking stiff, like what,
I
fucking,
think
like
I know what he
Forrest Gump?
means. I think I know what he's trying to say, but I think he said it very Zanca-ish.
Yeah.
And I'll say yes, because I have done that. Yeah, it's like I think it's like walking around like you have no bones in your body's kind of like and slithering away.
Yeah.
Just being like, ooh, yeah, I'm gonna get out of here,
Awkward conversations, usually I know when to get out of them because I don't walk away like Forrest Gump. I bring up the weather. So, yeah, they said it's going to be hot this weekend. Yeah. All right, well, I'll see you later. And then, all right, there you go. That's how I get out of awkward conversations.
There you go.
Do you have any close talkers in your life? Those are the most awkward conversations. You walk into a room and they're across the room. You go, hey, how's it going? And they get this close to your face. Everything's fine. Yeah. How you been doing? I hate close talkers.
The worst, and it's the term is popularized by Larry David. It's the stop and chat, where like you'll be walking by, you'll see someone like, oh hey, and then be like, hey, and then they'll walk towards you. You're like, oh no,
Like,
go
damn,
away. Like I don't want to talk to you. And then like you can't just walk away because you already said hi. So it's the worst.
I have to imagine that happens a lot to you on campus, right?
It does. And there's this one annoying fucker who always does it. And yeah, it's annoying. It's really, that's one of the things I'm thankful about for COVID, is because it's making people stay away from me.
Yeah.
So like they can't just start coming up and having a random fucking conversation with me about like economics. Like, yeah, okay, like I'm not in economics class right now. Shut the fuck up. I don't.
It kind of reminds me of that Groundhog Day movie when Bill Murray's walking down the street and he sees that dude that used to know him. He goes, "Hey!" You remember that?
Yeah.
And he steps in the puddle and everything. That's fucking funny. But yeah, close talkers are incredibly annoying. His final question: why did they bury Keith Lee?
Oh man. Well, I'll tell you what. They buried Keith Lee, and then they buried Randy Orton,
Oh
and
yeah.
then they buried Keith Lee again.
Yep. He can't get out from this. I mean, he's doomed. He's
Man,
doomed.
man, you know what? I better go watch AEW because All Out kicked the shit out of Payback,
Oh,
so I got to go watch AEW.
All Out kicked the shit out of SummerSlam, Payback, Takeover. All Out is, I mean, it was the show of the century, Bretsky. The century, I
Man,
say.
you're gonna get me going on AEW, Marks. I'll just say this: I saw something. There's this account that shows up on like my Instagram search where it's like a dude who like gives his ranking for the show, and he gave All Out like I think like a 6.25 out of 10, and he's like, I don't. He's like, I didn't like it, but it had its moments, and like he was explaining, the comment section tore his asshole apart. Like, what are you talking about? Well, everything was great. You can't say that was a 6.25 when you gave Payback. Payback was so bad. They buried it. And I'm like, shut up. Oh my God.
We're gonna
Shut up.
dive deep into this on the
Yeah.
next tripod sessions, but that's why I'm praying you have optimism. We're depending on your shiny side to this all out pay per view because me and Cesar, maybe it was the alcohol. Me and Cesar were fucking disgusted by
I'll
this.
tell you what. You guys were shitting on Ishida versus Thunder Rosa. I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard the majority of comments that I've seen, even from non-AEW marks, are that it was good. So I'm gonna my opinion's still out for that. But everything else I'm going into thinking like, oh man, fucking this is gonna be something to sit through.
You know, I think you are gonna benefit from all the negativity. I think we set your expectations so low.
Yeah.
You're gonna be pre-disappointed as you watch this. So I think it's gonna help your watching
Well, yeah,
experience.
I'll probably be thinking like, oh, this is gonna be like a shit show. Then they'll do one cool move, like, oh, it wasn't that bad, yeah.
Well, like we said, the tag team matches were the highlight basically for us. But
Well, because that's all AEW is tag teams.
exactly, every night's tag team appreciation night. But I'm very curious to hear your all-out review. So it's gonna be a very good tripod sessions coming up with.
I gotta say, I don't like that I'm the optimist of the group because I'm very much not an optimist, and for me to be the optimist of the group says a lot.
Yeah, we're the typical negative wrestling fans, but I mean, at least we put our funny spins on being negative, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Hashtag Sheriff Sauce. That was the end of Zanca's
Good.
messages there.
That's my APPW tag team champions right there.
Sheriffs. Hey, yeah, there we go. Sheriff Sauce. You did recently debut your new music on this past APPW.
Yes, I did.
You had a hard-fought victory over Styx Adam. Let's just say the story between you and Jake is just starting in APPW. It's going to be an interesting ride to see, but hey, Brettzky, thank you so much.
Hey, I haven't forgotten. I haven't forgotten about him interrupting my promos. I haven't forgotten.
Oh, yeah, we need a response stat. But hey, man, let's get your usual plugs out there for the peoples who listen. The Mighty 20 want to know where to go to find the Great One.
Well, first off, I want to say I'm glad that we zoomed through this interview. No, but yeah. So you can follow me on Instagram at the Great Brettzky 99. Obviously, but you can find me. We talked about my podcast. You can find that on Instagram. It's at thefauxpod.cast. It's just because Zanca got me in the habit of spelling it, so because he's Zanca. So THEFAUXPOD.CAST on Instagram. For any updates on audio, guests, new episodes, all that jazz. I will say Jake has listened to a couple. I don't think Zanca has, but I know Jake has listened to a couple at least.
It's a miracle.
Oh, yeah. He listens to my podcast more than he listens to anything else, so I'll take it. But yes, so you can find us at the Faux Pod, Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, all that. If you're on Apple, leave a 5-star review. Listen to Dexter Loomis and listen to the whole thing. They're always fun. They're always great. Yes, just spend about an hour of your day just kicking back and listen to the Faux Pod. We release every Wednesday.
And if you don't listen to it, you will be the junk in Dexter Loomis's trunk. Alrighty, well, Brettzky, thank you so much for your time. Like you said, last minute guest thing. We have each other's backs in the
Yes.
podcasting world, and I greatly appreciate that. You are still the most popular guest of all times on The Hangover. So you know where to find him, people. He told you all about it. Uh, we have a new Still Real After Party podcast in 2.5 weeks. But until then, the Tripod Boys are going to take over covering Raw and SmackDown for y'all.
And All Out.
That's right. And look forward to our Tripod Sessions, Tripod Beer Runs this week, where we review All Out. There will be a punishment that I added a twist to, but because I won the predictions. But
You had to say you won the predictions on like the shittiest pay-per-view that we reviewed.
I won this one and the last one, so I think that's it for my run. I'm gonna Zanca the rest of them. But
I was so upset when you said in the chat, you're like, all right, if MJF wins, then we're tied. But if Mox wins, then I win. And I'm like, all right. And then I get a text, I won that you won the predictions. And I'm like, motherfucker. Like, I didn't even care that you won the predictions. I'm like, motherfucking Mox. But yeah, we'll get to that. But that was a wake up call. That was a wake up call.
MJF did not win. This was the perfect time to. You know what? You're gonna get me started. Okay, hold on. We'll save it for the tripod. Okay, like I said, you got APPW, you got the After Party Hangover, you got the Tripod Beer Runs. I put it on YouTube, and surprisingly, it's doing better on YouTube than it is on Anchor. So Anchor and me are on shaky ground at the moment. But you can find all that content on Mangria Fuel's YouTube page. You know that because you're watching this now. Anything else, Brettzky? Any closing thoughts?
Definitely watch the recent Tripod because we have Mangria got a phenomenal intro for that Tripod, which caught me off guard, but that was fucking funny. Yeah, listen to the Tripod, listen to the Still Real After Party podcast. You know, yeah, APPW, all that.
Funny fact, did you watch APPW this week?
I saw my match. I haven't had a chance to watch the full thing yet, but I saw mine.
There, at the beginning, after the intro, me and Cesar did a Zoom meeting where I'm my character and he's his character. After we finished that promo, I got a text saying, your cameo from New Jack is ready. I'm like, holy shit, the timing on this. I was like, yes, thank God. I was all excited. So, yeah, it was pretty funny. It was only 25 seconds, but it was well worth it. That was awesome. Thank you, New Jack.
25 seconds of gold. It's 25 seconds of gold. I'll show him. Yeah, we can show him that now if he's ever like has us in the back alley. Like, no. Listen, look, you called
remember
me.
This. Remember this.
You called me an OG. You called me an OG.
He puts his knife away. I guess. I wonder what he was drinking, by the way, that made him make that noise.
I have no idea. That was an interesting noise that he made. I was caught off guard by that.
It's either Everclear or something stronger than that, and I don't know
like,
if there is.
Probably Windex, probably.
Fucking moonshine, or I don't know what the hell it was. Windex. But, well, yeah, like I said, Brettzky, thank you. Thank you to the Mighty 20, or 22 now, for listening. And until next time, all hail Linda's Bush.